Sometimes when I'm driving on the road at night, I see two headlights coming toward me. Fast, I have this sudden impulse to turn the wheel quickly, head on into the oncoming car.
Right. Well, I have to go now, Dwayne, because I'm due back on the planet Earth.
Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. I think that clip pretty much explains how a lot of New York Knicks must be feeling on another planet, having no idea what's going on with their New York Knicks. So we decided to use some quintessential New York movies to help us explain what's going on, or to put it into New Yorkers' terms, what the fuck is going on with my Knicks? Let's start by looking at Mike Woodson's foundation on both offense and defense. Currently, the Knicks ranked 20th overall on offense, a far cry from being 4th last year. A big reason is the lack of three-point shooting, where they've gone from setting records last year to taking less threes and more inefficient mid-range shots. A big issue I've always had with their offense is how stagnant it is. In the pick and roll, they're ranked 25th, and while Raymond Felton has been playing injured, that's only part of the issue. Coach Woodson has the Knicks running a ton of their pick and rolls out top with no movement first, right into the teeth of the defense, where they're set in an easy position to defend. It makes me wonder if this is the scene in the locker room when Woodson draws up his plays.
Draw something resembling anything.
Let's look at the main cog in the Knicks offense, Carmelo Anthony. He uses 27% of his team's possessions, while Bargnani is second at 13.5%. No other team comes close to having such a huge disparity between their first and second options.
You the man. No, you the man. No, you the man. No, you the man. No, you the man.
And it wouldn't be so bad if they got Melo moving and attacking more from the weak side. Instead, they might set an ineffective screen for him before he isolates and shoots a tough shot. I don't doubt Melo will eventually improve his isolation efficiency, but look at how difficult these shots are that he has to make. Because there's so much standing around watching, it hurts their transition defense, prompting me to wonder what Melo would say if Woodson ever asked him to isolate less.
You talking to me? Well, then who the hell else are you talking to? Talking to me?
J.R. Smith came back after missing 5 games, and his overall production has been pretty bad. However, he isolates an even higher percentage of the time than Melo does. In fact, the Knicks have 3 of the top 6 isolation players in the league. While he tends to be a creative shot maker, he can also take shots that are so wild and crazy, you have to wonder where he came up with them.
Yeah, that's really nice. What did you do, make that up?
Yeah, no, I saw it on TV first, and then I made it up.
Their lone bright spot on offense, if you could call it that, is posting up. But the offense is just way too slow to materialize, and it seems as if certain players are unfamiliar with the offense they're running. You tend to see Felton or Melo having to point out where their teammates should be moving. Hey, I'm all for being deliberate, but with the shot clock a factor, it just leaves less time for Melo to do his thing in the post, where he ends up rushing it.
I would never want to belong to any club that would have someone like me for a member.
And that describes Woodson, who played for Bobby Knight, and the fact that he has to associate himself with his own team's porous transition defense. Part of it has to do with their poor three-point shooting, which leaves them vulnerable to fast breaks, but a lot has to do with lack of hustle. Now, let's look at a huge pet peeve of mine, helping one pass away. The Knicks so consistently do this that I'm starting to think this is by design. The stats tell us they are ranked first in three-point percentage defense, but this is simply because of whom they played thus far. Helping one pass away is such an easy play for an offense to get an open three that it's troubling to me if Woodson's staff is teaching to do this. One needs only imagine that with a bigger sample size, their ranking will plummet.
What kind of idiots do you have working here?
The finest in New York.
The Knicks also have a fouling problem, ranking 28th in opponents' free throw attempts and 25th in percentage of plays that result in a shooting foul. They have some players that have a reputation for fouling, plus they allow lots of middle penetration, which puts undue pressure on a defender to foul before allowing an easy shot. When you look at their 5-man lineups, there doesn't seem to be rhyme nor reason as to why one particular group is successful when another isn't. Bargnani is in the second best group and also their third worst group. Prigioni is in their best lineup, but also in their third worst. It is worth noting that their most used lineup by far has a healthy net rating, combining both good offense and defense. So, through 11 games, what is wrong with the Knicks? Well, one could point to Carmelo Anthony not trusting his teammates enough to include them in the offense.
Remember, once you're inside, you're on your own.
Oh, you mean I can't count on you?
No.
Good.
And then there's the antics of J.R. Smith, who can't seem to stay away from the funny business no matter how hard he tries.
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you? I make you laugh? I'm here to amuse you? What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
And there's also the matter of how long Mike Woodson can survive with his team playing so poorly and their record so far below 500.
A relationship, I think, is like a shark. You know, it has to constantly move forward or it dies. And I think what we got on our hands is a dead shark.
So there you have it, sports fans. It remains to be seen what's going to happen to the next 9, 10, or 15 games. The schedule for them isn't crazy bad, but let's face it, without Tyson Chandler out there and with Raymond Felton being injured, they're really behind the 8 ball no matter who they play, and it's not clear that Woodson can survive if through a quarter of the season, they really have a poor record because most teams don't recover from that. It's a pretty big sample size once you get to 20 or 25 games in. So keep your eye on that. Lots more coming up with game breakdowns and team breakdowns and Court Call with Ronnie Nunn. Don't forget to tweet us your suggestions for calls you want us to review. Use the hashtag Court Call and give us a date, time, teams, all that information. And thanks for joining us, sports fans. Lots more coming up. And don't forget, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You win?
Sometimes it just means forget about it.